Hi there, it's been a little while. It's been busy, which for me is great. I always feel like when I have a lot going on, I feel like I accomplish more. I feel like there's momentum and moving forward and things like that going on. Um, and I just kind of wanted to check in with y'all and see what's going on in your world. I'm just curious. Like, are you seeing more movement in your life? Are you seeing more activity, more moving forward? More things kind of going in a direction of what you're hoping for, what you're looking for in your life. And so if yes, please comment below. If no, maybe curious if, part of the reason is because you're not clear on picture yet of what you want and where you're going. And I don't know if you really need to be clear about that. I think that, in the world of things that's going on right now, there's just a lot of activity. And I still don't know exactly where I'm going to end up, to be honest. There's a lot of unknowns in my world. There's a lot of things that are not figured out yet, settled. There's a lot of uncertainty still. However, I do feel like there are things that are in motion, and it's like it's speeding up too. Like a lot of miracles are happening, and things that didn't seem possible are happening, or they're in the works. So it's even like with money and finances, things are starting to suddenly come together from very many different angles, and things that were a possibility got stopped. It's kind of like there's all this movement happening. There was a lot of drama for a period of time and a stoppage to things, and now it feels like things are falling into place and happening and working out. Now, that does not mean that in my world, things that we have not, like my husband and I and people in our lives have been taking action on things. We've been making a lot of effort and motions into making these things happen. So, sitting back and waiting is not something that we do. And so if you are sitting back and waiting in your life, there may be a question of what is it that you're waiting for? Not that I've never done that before, because I have. And there are certain times where you need to have stillness and you need to just sit back, and whether that's healing or it's not the right timing yet, or whatever that is, that's okay. There's okay to have stillness and time where it, if you'll know when it's time to move, because the universe, God, the higher beings will definitely start lining things up. But things need, in order for action to happen, in order for movement and motion to happen, action does need to be taken. If you want to move forward, if you want to have goodness in your life, if you want to create, if you want to do, there has to be action. There has to be movement and motion into that direction. And that could be as small as making a phone call, making a list of the things that you would like to have happen, creating, a way of even walking or something where you're doing something, that cleaning out a drawer, something where you're taking action into a place where you're creating, even cleaning a space is, that I have found is so, lately I've been doing that too, and I found is so therapeutic, cleansing an area and moving things around, and just only having things in your space that you utilize, that are important to you. So kind of a more of a minimal, what do I really need to have in my space? And going through things that maybe don't serve in that space anymore, and you don't need anymore. That can be very important into creating motion and movement in your life. So, and that's all up to each person. That's not, it depends on where you're at. So, and again, it doesn't have to be huge stuff. It can be very little things that you do. Even dusting a cabinet, one cabinet, You don't have to do the whole house, just do one. Just start with one thing, and it doesn't have to be big. And then the thing that I've noticed lately is the more I do little things, it just gets me motivated to do more and more and more. You can sit back and just trust that the right thing is going to happen at the right time, that the right next step is going to present itself. And, being open-minded and being in the receiving mode, that's a huge one. A lot of people aren't comfortable with receiving. That closes a lot of doors when you're not in the okay to receive help or money or really anything. If you're not in the receiving mode, then that closes just a lot of doors, like I said. So I've been very open. It kind of have to be at this point. And I don't know if that's something that you're experiencing too. I feel like I have to be more open to receiving, more open to in general people, wanting to help, or being in the receiving mode of the right things coming at you. Now, as far as receiving is concerned, there's some things I've noticed lately about that as well. So when I say being open to receiving, sometimes if you ask for help, or if you notice that you're trying to figure something out that's gonna help out, maybe that's financial. Let's just say you're in a financial situation and you need some help, and you ask for help, and the situation seems very hard. And now this could be with anything, whether that's receiving money, whether that's receiving help, whether that's it could be physical labor, it could, whatever it is that you need help with. If it's a tough go and it just doesn't seem to be working out, doesn't seem to be going in the right direction, let's say there's a lot of roadblocks in it and there's a lot of things that are just not working, that's maybe not the right thing that you're supposed to be receiving. Does that make sense? So if it's not in the flow and it's not an easy thing where it comes in an easy way, without drama, without things that are causing it to be difficult, then maybe that's not the way that it's supposed to be. If it's not the right fit, it's a sign that there's something else that's better, or something else that's going to work out better. Learn from it and move forward. That, I know that's tough. Trust me. That can be really tough. But if it's not lining up, and if it's not easy, and it's not working out in a really flow type state, then that is not probably the best way to get what you're looking for. And so sometimes you got to just kind of sit back and be open to receiving and trust it. And that can be hard to do. But it's time to open yourself up to that. If there are people in your life that are not in support of what you're doing, that's on them. That's not on you. And it's not a judgment on you from them either. It's whatever it is that's going on with them is not in line with what's going on with you. That doesn't mean that they don't care about you or they don't love you or whatnot. That means that for whatever reason, it doesn't resonate for them. And so even if there's a willingness to help, at some level, they can't. And that's okay. It doesn't feel okay sometimes at the time, but that's okay. Yeah. So that's kind of my message today, as far as, I think I was all over the place. I have no idea everything I just blurted out, but I do feel like there's a lot of movement and motion going on. I'm excited about things moving forward. And yeah, there's, it feels like there's energy and there's openness and there's things that are finally lining up. Let me know where you're at. Let me know if you're noticing that lining up and things are moving forward. Comment below. And I wanted to say also, I've had people send me, based off of some of the videos I've made, I've had people send me messages about what's going on with them. And I am so grateful that I can make an impact in some way. If I can, with any of my videos, if I can impact somebody in a way that helps them in some way in their own situation, that just makes me feel so, great that I'm, that I have that kind of an impact. And that's the reason why I share the things that I'm going through, because I feel like there's a lot of people that have a lot of things and they aren't able to talk about it and express that, and with even close people to them. And, that's tough, because there's a lot of people there is still a lot of judgment and a lot of people that have their own struggles and they can't put themselves in your shoes. And that, we all just want to be accepted and validated and understood. And most people are so into their own stuff that it's hard to do that with other people. So just know that you, where you are at in this very moment, you are in the perfect place, and you are valid for your feelings that you're going through, for the, everything that you're experiencing, whether that's anger, frustration, sadness, even happiness, whatever it is you're going through, you're valid in where you are at in this very moment. You matter. You matter. You are more than enough. You are incredible. Yes, you are incredible. And, nobody determines that but God and you. Nobody else gets to have judgment on that. It's what you feel within yourself about how you are. That's what matters. So the more you love yourself, the more that you're going to thrive in life. That's just how it is. And outside forces, they can try and hold you down and try and stop you and because they're not comfortable with where they're at in their lives, So a lot of people, when they're not happy within themselves, they try and project that out to other people, and they try to, because they're so uncomfortable with where they're at, they look at other people and they want to bring them down, or they just don't want them to succeed or whatnot. And that's on them. That's not on you. That's not, you are really responsible for you and your own life. That's why we're here. And the more you take care of you, you teach the people around you, including your children, that when you choose you as number one and you take care of yourself, then you can take care of other people too. And you have more to give, because when you're complete within yourself and you're feeling great, you have more energy to give. You have more love to give. You have more everything to give to people that you care about. So anyway, again, I'm sorry it was all over the place. It's been a little while. I just wanted to get back on and say hi. It's going to be a busy few months for me, so I'm going to try and get on as much as I can to kind of share what's going on. But oh my goodness, buckle up, people. Brace yourselves. Good things are coming, but it's going to be a wild ride for a little while. So enjoy. Have an amazing day. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.